Hey everybody, back again. So today we're going to talk about mixing and pouring your expanding grout into the holes and to crack your rock or concrete. This is the exciting time. You finally got your holes drilled and now you're ready to get to it and get the grout mixed and poured in the holes and let it go to work. So first we're going to take a bucket, just a regular plain old bucket. We're going to open up a box. We're going to take the bag out, cut open the bag and pour the contents into the bucket. We're going to stir it up. Add 1.5 liters of water, stir it up. Again, you can add a little bit less if you want it to react faster. 1.25 liters. You just want to make it so that it's a slurry and it's mixable so you can pour it. If you want a little bit more time, you can mix a little bit more water, maybe 1.75 liters, and then mix it up and it'll give you more time for it to set. It'll also make it take longer to react and to go through the process and crack your rock. But anyway, you're going to mix it all up. You're going to go along to your holes and you're going to be pulling out your hole plugs, which you put in the holes to prevent dirt and stuff from falling into the holes and keeping them clean. After you drill your holes, you want to put these, you want to kind of clean out the hole. You can blow it out with compressed air, or you can vacuum it out with a shop vac just to get the holes clean. And then we like to put a plug in because the plug works well. You have a pattern of plugs which make sure all of your holes are dry and ready to go. So you can come along, you're going to take your plug out. You're going to pour the grout in and then you're going to let it set. The other thing you're going to do is once you have your grout poured, you want to just make sure that you don't stand over top of the holes, and definitely don't look directly into the hole because there is always that chance that it might have a blowout and you never know exactly when it's going to do that. When you do have a blowout starting to happen, you'll see the grout start to heat up and maybe spit a little bit. And you might feel a little bit, like that's a bit strange, which it is. It's not very common, but still it's a thing to be aware of, just in case it starts to happen. The best thing you can do after that is you want to take a tarp and you want to cover up all of your holes. And a little trick that we use all the time is when you're working, especially in the cooler nights or cooler temperatures, or wet temperatures, you want to not only cover it up with a tarp, but also put a heater in underneath the tarp. Even just a small heater will heat the temperature up. It'll keep it nice and warm overnight, and it really makes the grout work about twice as fast. We're always amazed. You come back in the next morning and it's broken. If you don't put the heater in or you don't cover it up, that's okay. It's just average what a lot of people do, but what happens then is as the temperature cools off overnight, you end up cooler than the temperature range most of the times, and then the grout just goes dormant and it stops working for the hours that the temperature is too cool. And then in the morning hours when it starts to warm up again, then the grout starts to work again. But then you're losing all those hours where you could really have it working straight through just with that simple add of a heater and a tarp. The tarp also helps you prevent any kind of a blowout. If a blowout happens, it'll contain that instead of letting it shoot into the air. If you wanted to go a step further, you could also put some plywood on top of the tarp just to kind of give it a bit more security. In the event that you're working in wet conditions, whether it be raining outside, or maybe your hole has water in it, a lot of times, especially here in BC, we're working on the mountainside, and the hole might have water in it. It might have an underground stream or cracks in the hole, and it might be wet. Other cases, we might be working and you might be drilling and you might drill through a seam where there's like a hole in the side of the drill hole. So in those cases, we use these plastic sleeves as liners. So what we do is we make these sleeves to the desired length that you guys want. So we make them 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, up to 6 foot, or we can make any custom length that you want as well. And we just take the sleeve, we just open it up. You just take a broomstick and you just slide it into the hole, and then all you do is you take a funnel and you put the funnel into the top of the sleeve, and then you pour it in to the sleeve, and then the sleeve keeps it all contained and into the drill hole. Then once you're finished with that, you take the top of the sleeve and you just kind of fold it over. Don't tie it or twist tie it, because what happens is it needs to have some way for the air to escape as the grout is going through the hydration process. It needs to get rid of the water and moisture as it's expelling it, as it's starting to dry and heat up and go through its cracking process. So just fold it over and and it'll be good. It'll do its thing. It'll keep the water out and keep all the grout intact. Other than that, it's just a matter of you just pour it and you wait. Sometimes the grout works in a couple hours, 2-3 hours. I've seen it as fast as that. Other times it takes a day or two. We usually say it takes about 24 hours, which in most cases it does. But if it's taking longer and it hasn't cracked, just be patient. You know, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days. In reality, the grout actually works and keeps expanding for up to 2 weeks. So every day it'll just be increasing and increasing a little bit more pressure. And your rock will start to crack and open. Just gotta sometimes wait for that. Anyways, I hope you guys are finding this useful, you know, and making the grout a lot more feasible and on top of your minds for a product to use when you're doing these kinds of rock breaking jobs. Thanks for watching.